like splash me, rapping the biggest night news on the radio. About to hit another high, everything you wanna know. With the scoop, make it fast. To facts tag, gotta make this moment last. We bringing yo, half strip like in the candy with style. It's about to get wild. Let the ratings roll. Yeah, let the truth unfold. Las Vegas in our veins, like a story told. We moving through the speakers, shaking up your soul. Yeah, we Lunatik Raider. Always on the road. On the strip like some insights, navigate the night. Truth in every state, penny bitches so right. Woo! With a brand new secret. Yo, I know the spit is so star. Pull your organ that you can't ignore. The heart of Vegas need. The words you can't ignore. Let the ratings roll. Yeah, let the truth unfold. Las Vegas in our veins, like a story told. Yeah, we moving through the speakers, shaking up your soul. The Lunatik Raider Show, always on the road. Skylights in the desert, feel the rhythm of the beat. We're setting in the stage, making history in the heat. Voices rise and fall in a city that never sleeps. Yeah, the Raider Show keeps spinning. The secrets back is keeps. Let the Raiders roll, let the truth unfold. Las Vegas in our veins, like a story told. Yeah, keep moving through the speakers, shaking up your soul. Yeah, the Lunatik Raider Show, always on the road. The city like splash me, rapping the biggest night news on the radio. About to hit another high, everything you wanna know. With the scoop, make it fast. To facts tag, gotta make this moment last. We bringing yo, half strip like in the candy with style. It's about to get wild. Let the ratings roll. Yeah, let the truth unfold. Las Vegas in our veins, like a story told. We moving through the speakers, shaking up your soul. Yeah, we Lunatik Raider. Always on the road. On the strip like some insights, navigate the night. Truth in every state, penny bitches so right. Woo! With a brand new secret. Yo, I know the spit is so star. Pull your organ that you can't ignore. The heart of Vegas need. The words you can't ignore. Let the Raiders roll. Yeah, let the truth unfold. Las Vegas in our veins, like a story told. Yeah, keep moving through the speakers, shaking up your soul. The Lunatik Raider Show, always on the road. Skylights in the desert, feel the rhythm of the beat. We're setting in the stage, making history in the heat. Voices rise and fall in a city that never sleeps. Yeah, the Raider Show keeps spinning. The secrets back is keeps. Let the Raiders roll, let the truth unfold. Las Vegas in our veins, like a story told. Yeah, keep moving through the speakers, shaking up your soul. Yeah, the Lunatik Raider Show, always on the road. The city likes black.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome.
They're here.
Rise, my nation. Gather around and prepare Our pride will be restored. Our shadow will fall with wicked damnation. Rise, my nation. Rise. This is your nation. This is our nation. This is the Raider Nation. Can you dig it?
What it is, Raider Nation, happy Tuesday. It is another edition of Who Shot Your Baby Mama? Nah, it's another edition of the Lunatik Raider Show right here on Raiders Allegiance, man, with your boy, the one and only Lunatik Raider. We're going to talk about other receivers in this NFL draft. I know we've been talking about McMillan. There is a void on this team at the number one wide receiver spot. I got some other interesting and intriguing opinions and ideas of who could fill that void. So we're going to dive into it, man. We're going to talk about three guys that potentially could be Raiders if we don't go the McMillan route at number 6. The way I break this down is the fact that there's we talked about it yesterday, there's other positions and players that could be there at 6 that we could choose. We could even trade back. There's a lot of things that go into this. We talked about Genty. We talked about Mason Graham. We talked about Teteroa McMillan. We talked about Shedeur Sanders. There's different directions we can go. This is just going to be, just imagine this. Imagine the Marvel universe, right? And you got all these alternate universes that coincide with shit that goes on over here is not the same over here, but with the same characters. So we're going to go down all these different paths of what could happen and how we expect it to happen. I'm also going to do a mock draft today. We're going to go and see how this shit falls out. Probably won't do a full 7 rounds, do 3 rounds just to get an idea, because these guys in this wide receiver class, some of these guys could be either at the end of the first round or the second, which our second draft pick comes into play if we don't go wide receiver at number 6. So there's things that we're going to incorporate, play around with, play with the balls, play with the pause, y'all. Stop that shit. I'm talking about footballs. All right, so we're going to get into the chat, man. Shout out to the world's most dangerous chat. Thank y'all for pulling up, man. We got Desert Raider in the building, man. Salute to you. Hope all is well. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Billy Davis, what it is, man. Hope all is good with you, my brother. For real, for real. Happy Tuesday. Mike G in the building, man. Shout out to my guy, man. J Dog, what it is, man. We out here. We out here in this bitch. That's right, man. That's what you already know. The tagline. Hey, if you a West Coaster, you already know what that's all about, boy. We keep the dub in it. What dub? Dub C? No, for the West. You feel me? One nation under God. You feel me? We good though, man. Eugene Powell right in the kisser, man. What it do, man? Salute to you. We got J-Ro in the house, man. What it is, man? Salute to you. Hope all is well on this Tuesday. We got Raider Paul in the building. You know I got to drop it one time like a 6-4 on switches.
I'm out of time. There you go. There you go.
There you go. There you go. I can't never get over that. You feel me? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. Raider Peach in the building with her peaches showing. Yes, indeed. Thank you for pulling up. Let me see what's got up in here, Mike. Who up in this mic, mate? There you go. There you go. Hey, you already know. Hey, there you go. Hey, don't have me get addicted to that shit, man.
I'm out of time. There you go. There you go.
I just feel like since he's like older, I'm fucked up for doing it. But I feel like at 73, 74 years old, you know how they got the little shakes. There you go. There you go. But he ain't got it. So I'm a refrain from that. That's me, my interpretation of me at that age. There you go. There you go. Let's go, man. Salute to the nation, man. Thank y'all for pulling up. Who else we got up in the building, man? I got to scroll down, man. We got Joel E in the building, man. What it do? Salute to you, my brother. Hope all is well. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me see. Eugene, we already got you, bruh. You already know you never forgotten. SoCal Sal in the building. What it do, man? Salute to you. Oh, all is gravy with you, baby. You feel me? Larry, what's up, dog? Let's get stupid. Let's go. Oh, my goodness. We in this BIH. You feel me? Oh, man. Let's continue on down. Dang, y'all. That shit scroll quick on me, man. I'm trying to get down to y'all, man. Brando, what it is, man. Salute to you. Glad you pulled up, man. Appreciate you. Let me see who else in there, man. Raider Fool Chris in the house. Salute to you, man. Hope all is gravy with you, man, for real. Speaking of gravy, where my guy Gravy? I don't know, Gravy probably busy, man. You know, Gravy be out there working it. You feel me? Yes, indeed, man. Salute to that dude, man. Let me scroll down a little Mizzo. You feel me? Y'all in here active, bro. I'm trying to get down to the end and y'all won't let me. Yes, indeed. Boss Raider Nation for life. Let's go. That's right, man. Thank you for pulling up, man. Appreciate you, man. He said, let him pull up and say that shit will lie. What? There you go. Are you talking about the lie shit that
I'm out of time. There you go.
You do the Raiders and I do the there you go. My guy, man, you stupid. Who else we got up in this bitch, man? We in here, man. Shout out to everybody pulled up. 37 deep watching. Instagram, Twitch, X, formerly known as Twitter and YouTube, man. A lot of good shit going down with the nation, man. Can't wait to debut the website. Still working on it, but we're almost there. I got to get other shit to incorporate. Y'all gonna see. I ain't gonna get all into it now, man, but it's going down. So let's start off with these wide receivers. Before, do I want to go into it before? You know what? I'm gonna go into my let's see. Do I want to go into the draft picks? Let's go into the draft picks and then we'll talk about the whole Stephon Diggs. And there's a mystery. There is a mystery wide receiver that we're overlooking. And a lot of people might think that beef might be over with, but it just might not be. We'll cover that in a minute. Let's go in and get into it, man. Let's go. So if Tetairoa McMillan is not our pick at 6 because we decided to go with a Genty or a Shador is there or a Mason Graham, then we're going to have to look for a quarterback maybe in the next round. Or maybe even trade up from the second back into the first to get one of these other names. We're going to look at the statistics. I even brought you more in-depth information about these guys. I told you hand size plays a big part, quarterback or wide receiver. And it's about the mitts. You know what I mean? 10-inch mitts, perfect, great for a wide receiver. Smaller hands, I'm going to give you an example. Remember I kept saying in the last couple of days, somebody on Instagram was comparing that they say that Tetairoa McMillan gives them bus vibes, gives them Hayward Bay vibes. Well, let me give you a counter of that. We knew Hayward Bay couldn't catch. He was fat, 6'2", 217, fast as fuck. But he couldn't catch. Why he couldn't catch? Let me give you an example why. Or let me give you the reason why. He had 9-inch hands. Remember I told you Carr had problems with fumbling the ball at 9 1/4? And then we talked about Geno Smith at 9 1/8. Small hands, you can grip the ball barely, but easy to get knocked out of. But 10-inch hands is another inch wrapped around that ball. Why you think McMillan can make those one-hand catches at 10-inch hands? So Hayward Bay had 9-inch hands. That is the difference between these two. He couldn't catch. Hands were not big at all. Smaller than Geno Smith's and smaller than Derek Carr. And that who I'm talking about is Hayward Bay. So that's why his issue was there. So these measurements do come into account. And the reason why, and the way you know they do, is because at the combine, they measure that. They take your hand size and your arm size and your wingspan, your height. They get everything documented because there is a science behind a lot of this shit. And to have big hands, you are able to secure the ball. Smaller hands, you can catch the ball, but bruh, you don't think you're gonna grip it with one hand. Hayward Bay, don't you think Hayward Bay was snatching balls out the air with one hand? Don't you? Not you do. Don't. Where my tape measure at? Hold on, we're gonna break this shit down to the last compound. Got my trusty tape measure. So the way they measure it is from your thumb, the tip of your thumb, to your pinky. That's the way they're gonna measure your hand. See, I'm at 8. I ain't no 6'5" dude. Hayward Bay was at 9. Look, my hands ain't big. That's 8 inches. You know how they say that's the size of your thing too. But hey, not to say that shit. But Hayward Bay was at 9. Can you see it on the thing? Oh, so you figure this was Hayward Bay's hand span, which is only an inch bigger than mine. Now we're talking about Teteroa McMillan at 10. At 10, I can't even get to where my index finger is. That's a good 2 inches. Some of y'all need those 2 inches too. So hey, but don't be ashamed. But we're gonna get into it. So I just want to break that down because a lot of people didn't understand. Well, how do you get 10 inches? When I measure my hand, it's only 4. That's why she don't love you. Now let me quit. So we gonna get into this shit, man. Let's go ahead and go. Let's go. All right, we going first up is Matthew Golden. We all know about Matthew Golden as the combine. He did wonders with his draft stock, putting him basically at the number 2 wide receiver, even over or is it 3? I think number 3 behind McMillan. So it went Travis Hunter, McMillan, and then Golden moved to 3 because of his speed in the 40. So here's the stats right here. 6 foot wide receiver, 195 pounds, went to Texas. He had 58 receptions, 987 yards with a 17-yard per reception average with 9 touchdowns. If you go to the bottom, oh, let me stop. Hold on. How foolish of me. How can I salute the chat and not even salute the chat? Shout out to y'all, man. Like I say, without you, there's no me. And without us, there's no nation. There's only one nation. And that's the Raider Nation. Y'all see that shit on the cut. I'm going to try to quit cussing so much because there is kids out there that want to watch Raider content. And rather than push them towards being a donkey or a queef, let's keep them here, but make them comfortable. And their parents be like, okay, you can watch Lunatik because he don't say the F word and shit. Oh, I said shit. Damn. They just made him shut down the fucking YouTube. Damn, I just lost a subscriber. Oh well. Back to this motherfucker at hand. Salute to the nation, man. There's only one of us. Let's go. And this live has been brought to you by Corona, the beer of Raider fans. Let's go. So let's get back to it. So if you take, matter of fact, let me change this around so y'all get a better idea or a better visual. Here we go. Oh, you won't even be able to see what I wrote down at the bottom. Well, hot damn. We just gonna, is that better? Or should we go big like this and boom, there we go. We'll do it like this. So 6 foot, 195, 58 receptions, 987 yards, 17 yards per reception, 9 touchdowns in 2024. If you look down towards the bottom, his 40 time. This is what improved his stock. 4.2940 at the combine. Hand size, 9.5 inches. 9.5 inches. Now that's not 9. That's not 9 1/4. It's not 9 1/8. Still 9.5. You know what I mean? And you want anything receiver wise, tight end wise. I want big hands because I don't want to put the ball on the ground. I don't want incomplete passes. I don't want passes to be stripped, fumbled out your hands. I need big mitts. You gotta have mitts to grab those. So we're gonna continue on. And his projection is first round, at the bottom of the first round. Now, if McMillan is not our selection at 6, and we still need a number 1 wide receiver, we're gonna once I bust out these draft prospects, we're gonna talk about free agents and potential trades at wide receiver for a number 1. These guys that we're talking about now has the potential of all being number ones, especially the first two, the ones that's projected for the first round. Yes, we know McMillan, we know Travis Hunter. Those guys are automatic. Those are starters, number one wide receivers. What's after them though? What's after them that we might like? Do you want the receiver that has the same build as a McMillan, but you can get him later? We have that. You want a speed guy to take off the top of the defense? You have that. Matthew is this guy here, Golden. He has that. Nice size, 6 foot 195, not bad. Hand size 9.5. Like I said, is to me, his route running is good though. Route running is very good. I need to know. I need to see what them hands really do, bro. 9.5 is better than 9, but like I said, you're dealing with half an inch. You feel me? So yeah, he's projected in the first. So let's continue on forward. Next up is Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver from Ohio State, 6 foot 1, 205 pounds. As we know, a former Chip Kelly, not project, but wide receiver that was used in multiple facets. We're gonna go get into that. That's another thing that you can also keep your eye on is what wide receivers can add more. Like how we had Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers can use it basically anywhere on the field. You can bring him out the backfield, put him in the slot, put him at the X. You could do all that shit with him. So to me, a wide receiver with that same ability, with being on the field with Bowers at all times, can you imagine the creativity Chip Kelly can come with on an offense when you have a Bowers and a like Egbuka? Let's get into his stats and I'll show you what I mean. So he has 81 receptions for 1,011 yards, 12.5 yards per reception with 10 touchdowns. But here's where it gets interesting that Chip Kelly put him in different positions on the field as well, coming out the backfield, whether it's reverses or whatnot, they used him. He had 8 carries. So they're going to consider carries, not running backs, but you ran them out the backfield, behind the line of scrimmage. 8 carries for 33 yards, didn't have any touchdowns, but they used them 8 times doing that. So it was sporadic, but they did use him at times coming out the backfield. His 40 time, 4.42. He didn't do it at the combine, but coming out of high school, he was a 4.42. So I guarantee you the speed is still somewhat around there, especially with going to college and being developed and whatnot. So if it's not 4.42, I say between 4.42 and maybe a 4.48 is probably where he's at in his college career. His hand size, 9 5/8. That's just a quarter over being 9.5. So the hand's a little bit bigger, but not by much. But this is another guy, since the familiarity with Chip Kelly is there, this potentially could be a receiver that we go not at 6. Maybe you trade back up from the second round into the bottom of the first to get him, or you wait and see if he falls to you in the second round. Possibility. It all depends on what pushes everything down in the draft. If quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3, and running backs come off the list like that, a lot of these guys are going to be pushed to us. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Tamar Gaither in the building, man. Salute to you. Thank you for pulling up. Be out in the building, man. What it is. Salute to you, man. Glad you're here. Lawrence E in the building. Yes, sir. Let me see what y'all got going. He said you over there measuring. I hope your hand, right? Your hand, not your swipe. Every man will measure his swipe. Yeah. So let me quit. But let's get back to it, man. So Egbuka, like I said, is a first round projection, but at the bottom of the first round. Possibility he could slide over into the second. Do you wait there at second to try to grab somebody like this? You could, but don't just grab him because that's what you're focused on. You better grab the best available. I don't care. Whoever makes it to your second round pick, bro, we need to get some dogs on this team, and that's the only way we gonna get them. Don't reach for shit because it's gonna be there at one point. Brock Bowers is that dude. Hey, that's right. Raider Fool. Hey, Brock Bowers, bro. Can you imagine having two guys on the field? And we know what we know exactly what Jacoby Myers brings to the whole picture too. No drop balls in the whole year. Matter of fact, I'm curious what Jacoby Myers' hand size is, because this is what I want to lean to. What is Jacoby Myers' hand size? His is 9.5 inches. So now we're getting close to 10. So 9.5, and he didn't drop one ball, bruh. Every time he was thrown to, he caught it. So, bruh, that hand size factors in a whole lot, man. Believe it or not, it factors in. All right, so let's continue on forward. So that's Egbuka from Ohio State. Keep your eye on him too in this draft. Possibility he could be that one of them guys. Could be. Now here's my guy right here, and I'm gonna break this dude right here. I like everything about him is lined up to be what you would want in a wide receiver, especially in the Chip Kelly's offense. 6'4", 222 pounds from TCU, Savion Williams. He has 60 receptions for 611 yards. People looking at like, well, damn, Tick, he only had 311 yards. Watch when we get to all the numbers and you're going to understand why. 10.2 yards per reception, 6 touchdowns. Now you're going to start seeing the diversity of this young man, of what you can do outside of just being a receiving threat. You can bring him out the backfield. You can do exactly with him what you could do with Brock Bowers. Can you imagine having 2 Brock Bowers on your field? Just imagine that. What could Chip Kelly do with a wide receiver 1 and a tight end that can play anywhere on the field? Yeah, tell defenses, boy, you better get some sleep the night before. In the rushing game, he carried the ball 51. This was just last year. This is not over his career. 2024, 60 receptions, 51 carries out the backfield, 322 yards rushing with 6 TDs. 6 TDs. Off of running the ball. They moved this guy around. But that's not even the sweet point of this shit. Let's get down to the bottom of the screen. 40 time. He ran a 4.48 at the combine at 6'4", 222. His hand size is 10 inches and a quarter. 10 and a quarter. He's projected to be a 3rd round pick. The reason being, they said he has 1st round talent, but there's some development that you have to do with him because he's never just focused on just being a receiver. Because you see his numbers, they're split in half. 60 receptions, 51 carries. Is he a running back? Is he a wide receiver? If he's a running back, 6'4", 222, give me a Henry then. Give me a Henry then. You know what I mean? If he's a wide receiver, 60 at 6'4", 222, give me a McMillan. This guy does it all. He just needs to be in a system like Chip's. Boy, I know they gonna milk his ass. Pause. Because that's not the milk you put in cereal. But they gonna milk his ass. But you need to. This man is showing you he can do whatever you ask him to do. Brock Bowers 2.0, I ain't gonna say 2.0. He's gonna be Savion Williams 1.0. But he's able to do those kind of things on the football field. Slot, running back, X. You can put him, he's big enough to be a tight end. Not weight-wise, but he ain't gonna do that shit though. We got Bowers, ain't no need of doing that. But can you imagine that'll be Bowers' running mate? You could do so much with these dudes, man, it's ridiculous, and you can get him later. 805 in the building, man. Salute to you. Shout out to you, my brother. Thank you for pulling up. And 805 already knows Savion Williams is a dude that we got our eye on. I'm telling you, this guy is so. You remember back when we drafted the old boy? Who was our coach then? Gruden. I said his name before and I forgot, and we ended up trading him to Miami. The whole purpose was for him to be our Swiss Army knife, a guy that you can move all over the field. Right? He wasn't the biggest dude, but he was supposed to be him. Didn't turn out to be that. Can you imagine a 6'4", 222-pound wide receiver? He has the experience in receiving, rushing the ball, 4'4", 840 with 10 1/4 inch hands, which makes up a big deal for catching the ball. You talk about one hand grabs, he can do it. His hands are 1/4 inch bigger than McMillan's. 1/4 inch bigger than McMillan's. Same size. Matter of fact, he got more weight than McMillan. He weighed more than McMillan. He's tall as McMillan, and his 40 time is about equivalent. Hand size is larger, but done more in the receiving and coming out the backfield behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, it's damn near equal, bruh. 60 to 51, 611 yards to 322, 6 touchdowns and 6 touchdowns, both receiving and rushing. You don't need to go McMillan at 6. See, somebody like Savion allows you the opportunity to go get another position at 6. We say Genty is too high. We say McMillan, you would be fitted for that one, but who would you have slotted at 6 that value might be better than McMillan? A quarterback? If Shador is there? See, people say, oh, we got Geno Smith. We don't need a quarterback. Okay, what happens when Geno's gone? We going to spend another 20 years trying to find a quarterback? Is that what you guys are willing to do? You willing to sacrifice these next 2-3 years, whatever his extension is worth, Geno Smith that is, you're willing to sacrifice those 2-3 years for another 20 years of trying to find your franchise quarterback? Is that what you're willing to do that? I'm not. 20 more years than me, bro. I'm AARP all day. I'm Pete Carroll in 20 years. Hopefully I'm in the same health. You feel me? But you willing to risk 2-3 years for 20 years of looking for a franchise quarterback like we've been doing. We ain't had a franchise quarterback. Y'all thought Derek Carr was it. Couldn't get over the hump. So that mediocrity, and I'm, mediocre, in the mid type quarterback, that's what he is. You see, the Saints found out that way too. When we gonna get our Mahomes? When we gonna get our Jayden Daniels? When we gonna get our, our franchise dude that's gonna be remembered as a Raider? Now I know this. Oh, Shador won't sit behind Geno that long. How do you know? If Geno was working with him, Tom Brady is the minority owner that can work with him. How do you know? What if Cam Ward is there at 6? By some way, somehow, I take Cam Ward. But here's another. See, this is why I said this thing is like the Marvel universe. It got all these different planes of reality. This reality happens differently going this way, then this way that one happens. Because it's all predicated on what we do now up to the draft, free agent wide or trade. And we're going to get into that aspect of the wide receivers after we talk about these rookies that's in the draft. So you can either go at 6 and say, you know what, I can pass on McMillan. I'll get, maybe they want to go Genty. Maybe they want to go quarterback. Maybe they want to go Mason Graham. I don't know. It don't really matter to me. Because I'll take any one of those dudes. Everybody trying to say, oh, that's too high to take them. If you took him at 6 or took him at 32, you still plan on having him come in and do the same shit. But if there's a player that's rated higher than him, you can't overlook that. See, that's my concern with taking Genty at 6. What if at the time Genty at 6 is the best available at that time? Do you say, no, I'm not going to take the best available because I don't believe a running back should go that high? Nah, if he's the best available, bruh, don't Jalen Carter him. What if he comes out, we get him up in here and this motherfucker rushing for 1,800 yards? Not saying that it will, but if we're running heavy, he's going to run. And the tread on the tires are still good. Still good. People talked about him in his fumbling. Genty I'm talking about. Genty fumbled in the first 3 games. After that, none at all for the rest of the season. None. So I think he knows what he's doing. Or whoever his coaches was, they hold the ball like this, Genty. And Genty like, sure, sir. Bar, sure, sir. That's some shit. But I'm not saying which direction to go. I'm saying if this direction is a direction that we do go, what does the domino effect mean later? If you don't go Tetairoa McMillan 6, could you go elsewhere? Savion Williams is a choice. Matthew Golden is a choice. Emeka Egbuka is a choice that you could possibly visit down the line. Bottom of the first, beginning of the second. We have a second round pick that allows us to be able to move back into the first round easy just by packaging another pick later on. We're not that far away from the first round with our pick in the second. So you could go that route. But we're talking wide receivers now, so we're going to keep that trend going. Now, everybody I'm pretty sure has seen the photos of Geno Smith and Shedeur Sanders out there in La La Land. And where did that picture take place at? Miami, right? Was Geno Smith throwing passes? Chat, tell me, have you seen the video of Stephon Diggs and Geno Smith on the internet? And tell me, was that in Miami? So you're all in on T-Mac to build in the draft. Savion could be him. Trade back, get early draft capital, and build it. I said that if you're there at 6 and you got 4 or 5 guys on your board that you feel they're equivalent, but at their position, because these are all different positions. It ain't something like we're at 6 and we got 2 wide receivers there. That, who should we pick unless Travis Hunter fall? But if Travis Hunter falls to 6, you're not sitting there trying to fucking think and choose between McMillan and Hunter anyway. You're going Hunter all day. But if you got other guys there that you find to be equivalent to each other, ranking-wise, value-wise, at those positions, trade back. Trade back. You're going to get one of them. If that's a target, trade back, get extra picks. Let's build. They said you only build a team through the draft. And I agree. You don't build it in free agency. You don't do it. I've seen it happen before. Or in trades. Not free agency. Trades is a whole nother factor. But you have to build your shit through the draft, bruh. Your foundation. Every good team out there, foundation is built in the draft. Every one of them. Every one of them. Now, if you're a piece or 2 away, you go in free agency and plug those holes and bam, let's see if we get it going a little better. You see, New England is signing every released free agent out there. And I'm sorry to tell y'all, it ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. I'm telling you, it ain't going to work. And I could take you back years ago when certain teams tried this tactic. They tried it and it didn't work because you have to build that shit the correct way. You're getting free agents that's already so many years into their career. We need young guys to grow together. That the longer you have continuity, the better that team becomes. Plain and simple. It did. We got to the Super Bowl, but it didn't work for us either. We brought in Jerry Rice. We brought in Rich Gannon. We brought in Romanowski. We brought in Rod Woodson. We got Eric Allen coming in from another team, and it didn't work. It didn't work. But the old school Raiders back in the day, we drafted these dudes. The 3 Super Bowls we got, we drafted them. Plunkett, we didn't. But we got everybody else. And we got away from that and tried to go instant Super Bowl. The Rams did it. The Rams had a lot of foundational players on their team too, but they went out and got a shitload of people in free agency. I'm going to tell you what it reminds me of. Remember back when the Florida Marlins years ago won the World Series? And they had all those guys, free agents and guys they traded for. They won the World Series, but their salary cap was so high because of the names they brought in. They disbanded that whole team just a year after they won the World Series. Remember the Rams won the Super Bowl, this recent one? What happened to that team after that happened? What happened to that team? Dismantled. Everything must go. Look at the 49ers. When it don't work, now, see, people want to say we're a rebuild. No, the 49ers is a fucking rebuild. Everything must go. I heard that they even traded away the yardsticks. And they traded away the cameras in the pylons in the end zone. I heard they traded away the only boy cheerleader they had. Everything must go. The little pom-poms, that little motherfucker was in his little hot shorts, gone. They came as a package. You get the pom-poms and the boy George cheerleader. Everything must go. Now you can't even review touchdowns in Santa Clara because the pylon cameras got traded too. Everything gone. Ain't no more bench presses. No, all ellipticals is gone. No dumbbells. Gone. They tried to trade Great America across from them, but they forgot they didn't own that shit. So they couldn't trade Great America. Everything in Santa Clara is gone. The college, they try to trade the college. Steve Nash was like, fuck no, you can't trade Santa Clara. And they were right, they couldn't. That's the Niners right now. They're selling jock straps. You can go to the parking lot at 40 Weiner Stadium in Santa Clara, and you'll see tables of like old cups, and I'm talking about cups that men wear, jock straps, all that shit. All that shit. Old Super Bowl tickets from when they went to the Super Bowl in Kansas City, whooped their ass. 49ers is the fucking reason Kansas City was going for a 3-peat. Blame them sons of bitches. It took Philadelphia to make that shit stop. 49ers is pathetic. That's a rebuild. We didn't trade away Max Crosby. We didn't do that shit. We didn't trade Brock Bowers. That's a rebuild when you do shit like that. We went and got a veteran quarterback. That's not a rebuild. You would have got a rookie and just roll with him because you know he's going to lose. So you tanking and you purposely tanking so you can get high draft picks. That's a rebuild. Raider Goon in the building, man. Salute. Matter of fact, the 49ers even traded away the pregnancy test of all the girlfriends of the players. Yeah, because, you know, they got women out there that pay for that shit so they can fool their football boyfriend into thinking they're pregnant and making them pay money. Baby, I need an abortion. I need $500. And she go buy her a Gucci and Louis Vuitton bag. And never get the baby bump. That's scandalous. Scandalous shit. And now they gotta pay Purdy to wait around until they build this shit all over again. Ain't that Purdy gonna be 40 years old by the time they complete this rebuild. Yeah, they got draft picks. Don't mean they gonna hit on all of them. Nigga, you had McCaffrey. You had Fred Warner. You got, come on, bruh. Ayuk. Debo. And y'all could, gone. Go. It's like going back to Oakland. Never say going back to Oakland thinking you're gonna go buy a burger at Quick Ways by the lake. Ain't no Quick Ways there no more. That's not a rebuild, bruh. So you mean to tell me we got a new head coach and everything you mentioned is on the offensive side of the ball? Why the defense is left alone? Because that was the best thing of this team. Why is the defense re-signed everybody on that line? Max Crosby, they kept. Look at your team total. Let me show you why it ain't a rebuild. The coaches don't fucking matter. It's who the coaches keep. You look at your defense. Was Max Crosby on this team last year? Yeah. Christian Wilkins on this team last year? Yeah. Adam Butler? Yeah. Okay. Malcolm Kuntz? Yeah. Eckenberg? Yeah. Jacorian Bennett? Yep. Jack Jones? Yep. We're naming 7 out of the 11 starters were here last year. Not traded off. And we're not going to I didn't even go into depth as far as the other people that's still here. Palomau, that's 8 starters that's still here. So you mean to tell me you only add 3 motherfuckers to your starting defense, and that's a rebuild? 8 to 3. Sounds like not a rebuild. Sounds like a retool. You retooling your secondary. That's not a rebuild. Let's look at offense. Geno Smith is new, yes. Let's talk about everybody that's still the same. Is Colt Miller a person that was here last year? Yeah. JPJ? Yeah. DJ Glaze? Yeah. Wow. Brock Bowers? Yeah. Trey Tucker? Yeah. They were here last year. Jacoby Myers? Oh, yeah. Michael Mayer? Yeah, that's 7. What else? Who else was here still last year? Oh, Zamir still on the team? Oh, shit. Lowby? Oh, shit. Sincere McCormick? Oh, shit. So how much of the turnover on the offensive side of the ball is brand new people to be a rebuild? More of the same is here than the new. The head coach is different. Yes. Yes. The GM is different. Yeah, because usually when the coach go and shit ain't working out for a team, the GM goes too. So yes, the GM, head coach, offensive coordinator is the same. You bring back a guy like Greg Olsen who has been here as the offensive coordinator. So you bring him back. So your offensive side of the ball, the worst part about this team, and AOC is still here too, last time I checked. AOC is still on the team. So he was a quarterback last year that started, right? So where's the rebuild? The special teams? We got new kickers? I'm just saying. I see the same of the old I see more old faces than I see new. And we got draft picks coming in, but that's every year for a team to bring in at least 7 draft picks. We got 9. So there's going to be 9 new faces. Oh, and the undrafted? Oh, yeah. Like Masterson? Oh, yeah, Masterson, the linebacker. Undrafted guy? Yeah. He was a Raider too, huh? Oh, wait a minute. Snowden is still here. Damn, I forgot about him. Damn. Tyree Wilson? Oh, he's still here too. Fuck, so I guess it's not a rebuild. That's what I mean. Everybody want to look and think just because it's a new coach and new GM, we didn't strip everything butt ass naked. We're not down to the foundation and building all new players. The Niners is doing that shit. Motherfucking New England is definitely doing that shit. They just signed another motherfucker that was released from Minnesota. It's not a rebuild, bro. I don't know what y'all definition of rebuild is. Like, say for instance, I'm a home buyer, right? So I go buy a house that's already there, right? Does anybody buy a house and knock that motherfucker all the way down and rebuild that shit? Does that make sense to y'all? To buy a house from somebody, knock that motherfucker down and then rebuild it up? Or do you go in there and remodel? Do you take, like, I want to make the kitchen bigger. I want to put an island in the kitchen. I want to add a guest room to the back of the house. That's a remodel. That's not a rebuild. Come on, we got to understand the terminology that we are using. If you don't know what a rebuild is, matter of fact, let me help y'all. Because we gotta stop this madness. We got to stop this madness. So for those who don't understand the definition of a rebuild, I'm going to let Google do it for me. What is a rebuild?
Here's the definition of rebuild. Build something again after it has been damaged or destroyed.
To build something again after it has been damaged or destroyed. I don't think we're building it again. We're adding to it. Like I said, if you're going to rebuild, you should have traded Max Crosby because there was a team that was willing to give up 3 first-round picks. Plain and simple. 3 first-round picks. You might as well get rid of Brock Bowers too. Why? If you want to do it your way and rebuild it, get rid of everything that has a value. I'll tell you exactly how a rebuild looks and what you do in the process. If you come out here to Vegas and you know it wasn't the Flamingo, it was the hotel that they knocked down to build the A Stadium. Before they completely knocked down that stadium, they sold everything. Every mirror, every pot, every phone, every table, every chair. Because I went there and looked around. At every TV, in all those hotel rooms, before they knocked that motherfucker down, It was gone. It was for sale. Right? What? How many motherfuckers did we trade this year? I'll wait. How many players did the Raiders trade from their roster to somebody else this year? Devontae Adams? Who else? Who else got traded? So if we're rebuilding, you usually, like, when John Gruden came, who did he get rid of? You see, who did he get? The most valuable item was gone. Khalil Mack was gone. Amari Cooper was gone. They just didn't utilize the picks in the right way. We have not done that. We only got rid of Devontae Adams because he asked to go. Not ASK to go. He asked. ASS because he was asked to go. He was asked to go and he found out that the grass was not greener. That is not a rebuild. We traded one player. What is the Niners doing? The Niners is trading everybody. That's a rebuild, bro. They're trading everybody of value. And the rumors around, we heard about Fred Taylor or Fred Warner. Fred Warner out there connected to the Raiders as far as us trading for him. That is a rebuild the Niners are going through. We are nowhere near that. Not even a little bit close to doing that shit. That's what I mean, man. We got to understand the definitions of the words that we are using. Now, let's get into the other aspect of this shit. I want to talk about these other potential wide receivers. We hear Stephon Diggs. I'm not mad at Stephon Diggs. Would be a good, and I know he's what 4 months off on recovery from the ACL, and ACLs these days aren't anything to repair. Achilles you have to worry about, but ACLs, nah, it's not like it was way back in the day. You know what I mean? It was an issue back then. But Stephon Diggs as a number one wide receiver at 31 years of age, I would entertain that. But you know what I would entertain even more? How about a trade? How about trading for, now they kept connecting us to Cooper Kupp, didn't happen, went to Seattle. DK Metcalf, didn't happen, he goes to Pittsburgh. What other receivers they had us attached to? Godwin, didn't happen. So if we're attached to all these people that was either free agents or to trade for, and you're talking about a Stephon Diggs coming off an injury at 31, I know another 31-year-old wide receiver that's out there with Geno Smith in Miami. And Stephon Diggs in Miami. Can you guess who that name is? Who was disgruntled after the 18th week last year saying that he is done. He backtracked off of it, but issue with money of his contract is still in the air. Still in the air. But he just chose not to gripe and whine about it and just kick back and let things unfold. He says he says all the politically correct things. I'm staying where he's at, but he let it be known he's still he wants that contract issue to be resolved because he's looking at look at the money. Look, we know we ain't getting T. Higgins or Chase. Hey, none of them, they're stuck now with the Bengals with all that money that they gave them. But what other wide receiver would you have not? What wide receiver out there? I'm not going to say his name until we get to that point. What wide receiver are you willing to trade for since you want to trade for DK Metcalf that you would put as your number one wide receiver that will damn well surely change our offense under Chip Kelly with Brock Bowers, him, and Jacoby Myers? All we got to do is go get a running back. Now, how much the draft capital for getting this guy would be, I don't think it would be a lot like DK. DK's a 2 because he's a young dude. This dude is 31, but still dynamic as PHUK. Can you guess who it is? Can you guess who that wide receiver is I'm talking about? Let me take one more sip of this shit, man, because I'm about to drop this name on y'all. I was going to do this show on Monday, but I said, let me kick back and let's talk about these young dudes because that's what we're focusing on now. But there's a wide receiver that might be available for the right price, and I guarantee you he will change this offense dramatically. Tyreek Hill, and I do believe if they think Stephon Diggs coming off an injury at 31, Tyreek still got wheels, bruh. He still got wheels. And he won't get the same money as a T. Higgins in them. He won't be able to, because we're talking about a youth movement. The youth will get the money. That's just because they got more years they can, you know what I mean? I'm gonna say it from how the franchises look at it. They got more time to bleed them of everything they can bleed them from because of their youth. But Tyreek Hill, you remember Tyreek Hill said he was done with Miami. He after they've been losing, he was ready to go. Miami ain't did shit to move the needle. Period. Tyreek gets in the offense where they need a number one wide receiver and a Chip. What do you think Chip Kelly would do with Hill? And what I say, you don't have to give Tyreek the big bag right now. But he only got 2 years left on his deal. He has 2025 and 26. There's 2 years left in his deal. A wide receiver like that will fit the time frame that Pete Carroll and them is trying to win. Pete Carroll got 3-year deal, possible 4. Geno Smith is probably going to get a 2 or 3 year extension. This is their window for right now. You still go get a wide receiver in the draft, and that will be your number one after if you do get a Hill, trade for a Hill. And I don't think Tyreek will cost a first or a second round pick at all. At all. You might be able to get away with packaging a third, like a third and a 5. But you don't have to all do it in this draft. You can we'll give you a third next year, and we'll give you a 5 and a 6 this year. Just to, you know what I mean? Okay, because we got 3 6s. Give them a 5 and a 6 this year and the third next year. Because we hope that third is not a high pick, it's a low pick. Then you go ahead and give a good deal to Tyreek. You give him his money, but you give him that off. You give him that signing bonus in a lump that spreads over the 2 years of his contract. There's ways of doing this shit. Because everything that we getting in the draft, I think out of all the positions, the ones that will come in and can affect the game immediately, wide receiver and running back can, because it's not really, you know what I mean? Their ability is their ability. Route running and all that, they might be able to come in here with the route running already. Bam. We got rookies that do their thing. Look at Brock Bowers. He's a rookie. That didn't stop him from doing what he did. Some guys are already ready for that shit. So receiving and running back, I think it could be done. Quarterback still has to learn. Jaden Daniels is a freak of nature. Plus they put shit around him and they continue to still do that shit. Other positions, I think defensive tackles, if they come in with their game well rounded, you know what I mean? They can clog the middle on size too. But safeties, I think you can do some shit with, unless you one of them corners that's him. But there's only going to be a couple of them. You ain't going to be able to just, we can wait and get them here. But whatever we get is, what I'm saying is, whatever we get in the draft is for future purposes. And every GM will tell you that. You draft for the future. What they can become. Because ain't nobody going to be who they going to be coming out of college. It ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen. Offensive linemen gotta be groomed too. Because I promise you, JPJ and DJ Glaze will be a lot better year 2. And a lot better in year 3. You gotta see, like, we all gave up on Jacorian Bennett, corner. 1 year, we was ready to be done with him. Second year, he balled. Just think if we took the same amount of time again with Malcolm Kuntz. First year, what was he? Did he stand out? No. But then all of a sudden he came off that at the end and getting them 8 sacks. You open your eyes like, oh, maybe he's finally getting it. We gotta wait. Like I said, this year is the only year for Tyree Wilson. The only year. We're not gonna give you 2-3 more years after this, bro. You gotta figure it out. And we gave you a pass on year one because you wasn't 100% healthy. You were still trying to come back. Last year was considered your rookie year. This is year two. This is where you turn the corner. If you don't turn the corner this year, you're going to have to turn the corner to the unemployment line. Because we just can't waste a spot on this roster with someone who's not effective. What sense does that make? You know what I mean? And everybody get mad with free agency of the players that we sign. Why we're not signing no big names? We can't just spend our money like that, bruh. And you figure, if we only have X amount of players under contract, and we have 9 draft picks, and we're expected to have a 53-man roster, where's the rest of those players coming from? Where's the rest of the players to make a 53-man roster? If we got 28 under contract with 9 draft picks, how are we going to fill out the roster with 53? They're all going to be undrafteds? No, you got to spend $1 million here, $2 million here. Some guys are work like Jeremy Chin, $8 million a year. You got to give them these kind of guys that to get in here and give you production. And then you also got to add depth and competition. We know whoever doesn't win the starting job is going to be a backup. We got to have backups. Everybody on a 53-man roster is not a starter. Let me remind you, everybody on a 53-man roster is not a starter. So let's stop acting like we go out there and everybody on a 53-man roster is a starter so we give them all big money. It don't work that way. Who's your depth? Who's your backups? Where you gonna get your backups from if you have none? Free agency. You don't draft backups. If you in the draft just to get a backup, you wasting picks. And I don't give a fuck if he's a 7th round pick, because every pick in the draft, you must have the mentality that you have the coaching staff to get the best out of them. And either they can be a starter at this position or a starter on special teams. Everybody can't be a starter. I'm sorry. After your starting offense, your starting defense, and I even throw just say the special teams is made up of all different players. That's only 33 people. Where's the other 20 coming from? Free agency in the draft. You're going to sign at least about 10 free agents because you got about 10 fucking draft picks. That's the other 20. Come on, bruh. Sometimes I don't understand why a lot of people be getting their panties in a bunch and not even figuring in, you're right, we do need, who else is going to fill out the roster? But you mad because we signing Lonnie Johnson, and Eldrin Roberts, and Jeremy Chin, and Eric Stokes when we need to have guys on this roster to fill out the roster. What the fuck? How you get mad at that shit? And it's not like we giving Eric Stokes $12 million a year. Jeremy Chin getting $20 million a year. We filling out the roster. These are guys that can start. But if we can go in the draft and find guys that's better than them, then we can let them go and not take a hit. Plain and simple. Understand that shit. There's more to a 53-man roster than just the starters. I be hearing motherfuckers say that shit, bro. Come on. Okay, Lawrence E., let me make it make sense to you. You spend money on a Tyreek Hill, right? Your whole goal is to win now, right? But you can't go out and get 5 Tyreek Hills. You can get one. What's a position on this team that we don't have? A number 1 wide receiver. So it makes sense. And he's not a long-term deal. You're not stuck with him if he doesn't produce. You know what you're getting in Tyreek Hill. You go draft the guy number 1 in the first round. How do we know that McMillan is going to be him? And you stuck with him for 4 years on a nice contract. Them first round contracts is not cheap. So if you're trying to win now, like Pete Carroll said, which trading for Geno Smith shows you're trying to win now, or you just rock with AOC. Why not just go with AOC and get a top 5 pick next year? So obviously they are trying to win now. Or they could have just sat back and just, fuck it, we just going to put all the young rookies and undrafteds out there and get more draft picks. But they went out and got a veteran Jeremy Chin, a veteran Eric Stokes, a veteran Lonnie Johnson, a veteran Eldrin Roberts. A veteran mustard. So that told me right there. And these ain't the veterans that's like 35 and 36, but the quarterback is. But quarterback's longevity in the NFL is way longer than any other position. Facts. So the age it's not a prerequisite for me when it comes to quarterback. I don't care if you're 34. Shit, you ain't here forever. We gonna get a quarterback that's gonna replace you. And all these other guys, we got stopgaps. Shit, Spillane ended up being a stopgap. We got him from Pittsburgh. He was here for how long? Stopgap. What was Epps? Epps was here how long? Stopgap. See, the contract let him become a free agent, right? How long did they sign these guys for? Stopgap until you can prove me otherwise. If you prove me otherwise, then here come the contract. Give you an example. Adam Butler, short contract. What did he do? Extension. If he didn't pan out, would they gave it to him? No. Come on, bro. You just look at the numbers they're giving these guys, how many years and what the value of the contract is, and you can see what they're doing. Every franchise is going to protect themselves unless you just dumb as hell and put out dumbass contracts. Dumbass contracts. Ask the Cowboys. Everybody that we signed in free agency, what's the max years we gave them? 2? Jeremy Chin got 2 years? Oh! So $16 million, but how much of it is guaranteed? About 8, about 1 year? Oh, let's talk about Alex Kappa. Guard. 2-year deal, $11 million. Guaranteed money is only 5. So what, after 1 year, and if he don't pan out, see ya. And don't owe him no guaranteed money. Smart contracts. Stopgap. Bruh. If you're seriously trying to win now because you brought in Geno, you brought in a veteran mustard, you got a draft that's deep at running back, you can go ahead and address certain needs for your future. But in the meantime, like for instance, what happened if Malcolm Kuntz don't pan out? It's only a 1 year, it's $12 million, but you had to give him that because he was trying to. They said 20 was his worth, but we didn't give him 20. We didn't even give him 15. We gave him 12. 1 year. If he don't pan out, guess what? See ya. What if Tyree balls out this year? We got his replacement, and he still got another, 2 years because we got a 5th-year option on him? You got to be financially intelligent with your money, man. You can't just because you got it don't mean you got to just spend it. We only got $45 million left under the cap. What does it look like we go out there and give somebody 20 mil a year? We're left with 25. You got to spend 89% of the cap. You got money. You got to wait for June 1st for those releases because they might get some guys out there being released that you be like, oh shit, they released such and such. That kind of shit happens. Then when you cut down from 90 to 53, that's over 1,100 free agents that will be out there from 32 teams. Where's the money to sign the names that could come in and help you now? Oh, you don't have it because you spent X amount of dollars on getting DK. If they were willing to go out there and get fucking Matt Stafford at 50 mil a year, and God knows what the compensation would have been for the Rams to trade for him, then that lets you know they're trying to win now. That's what a Tyreek Hill means. He's trying to win now. For real. Matt Stafford a move, if we would have got him, you're trying to win now. At 50 mil a year, and you gave up draft picks, you're trying to win now. That's why you spend that money. But you also go into the draft and get the person that's going to replace him when that contract's over and said with. Oh, we only got 18 million left? Well, good luck with signing a big name now. I guess a lot of fans going to be mad for the rest of free agency because there's going to be a lot of $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 million contracts. Not even 5. You gonna unless they restructure Wilkins and you can trade a Michael Mayer or trade a fucking Zamir White. We'll see. Shit, I'll tell you another move you possibly can make, and it might not be a favorable one to fans, but it will free up some money. Colton Miller. If you go in the draft and you draft a guard, not a guard, but a tackle That's another thing we got to think about. If the Raiders draft a tackle at 6, a left tackle, I wonder what that would mean. Somebody becomes expendable, and I seen somebody in the chat say, who went to the Chargers? We're gonna beat the shit out of all they ass. You got all former Raiders in the AFC West. Andre James went to the Chargers, huh? Oh, we only have 18 million. See? So, and what I say, you have to add in free agency. You add about 10 free agents because the other 10, what I say to fill out the roster, the other 10 is gonna be 9 draft picks, 10 free agents. How many free agents did we sign? Let's see. You got Jeremy Chin, Lonnie Johnson Jr., Eldrin Roberts, Mostert, Eric Stokes, Kappa, and then you said then we re-signed our own free agents. So you did bring Adam Butler back. You brought Malcolm Kuntz back. Who else you brought back? Palomal got brought back. I don't count Max Crosby because that's an extension. He was already on the contract. That was an extension. We need guys that was free agents that we brought back. Who the fuck else was he? Oh, there was a wide receiver that came from UCLA. Wasn't there's a wide receiver we signed first? That's 10 right there. That's 10 right there. Now you go into the draft with 9 and you add a gang of undrafteds to fill your roster out. And a lot of undrafteds and free agents that's out there on the market to get your roster to 90. And then you go into camp, and then that's when everything jumps off. So that's about right. That 15 million, I don't touch. You can restructure like a Wilkins and do shit like that to free up a whole lot more money. You can restructure. But we'll see how that shit go. Kyle Phillips, yes, that was the other guy, free agent. So, man, I'm telling you. So that was about right. You go in and you grab about 10 free agents, and you go out there and you got about 10 draft picks. That's the 20 other guys to fill out the 33 on the roster. There's probably 33 under contract. Because we didn't mention like Zamir White under contract still. What's the other running back we got? We know Madison is gone, but we got him, Lobby's still, I forgot. Yeah, Lobby's under contract. So I look at it that you got about 33 under contract. Your kickers, your punters, long snappers, all solid. We let DJ Turner go. Trey Tucker is still there. Corners, you're adding depth to the corner room. There's gonna be competition because you got to figure out the slot and you got to figure out who's the other starter at corner. Draft picks is what I'm more looking. I'm ready for the draft picks. Free agency is cool, but I see what they're doing. They're just adding competition and depth. Who's the guys that we're trying to get to come in here and be the guys? Who do we get? That's the most important thing. I'm Lunatik Raider. I'd like to say thank y'all for pulling up, man. If this was your first time here, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that like, notification bell. We're on our way to 3,000 once we get there. Free TV giveaway. Don't listen to Mike G because he said it's only a 10-inch. And no, it's not a 10-inch. It's bigger than that. That's what I told. That's what I told her. It's not 3 inches. It's bigger than that. So with that being said, man, you guys enjoy your Tuesday, man. Be safe out there. And remember, if nobody tell you, it's Raiders, motherfucker. Nah, I'm out this bitch. Ha ha.